So we're at Quino Coy. When I say we, me and the camera. And there's a few fish that came from south of Japan, which is a place I visit. So they're in quarantine, but Adam's gonna give us a quick sneak peek of a few of them. And I think they will be released in about a month or so time. So keep your eyes looking at Quino Coy's website. But these came from the south of Japan. And I often travel to the south of Japan. I'm going to go in this year. But these will be released in a month or so. And looking at what I've seen so far, there's stuff from Matsue, Tamaura, Okawa, Oishi, Beppu, a number of the Ogata as well. So we'll just have a quick look. You can have a sneak peek via my camera and yeah, hopefully enjoy it. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again. You don't taller. I have my
pleasure.
hand almost at full
Sorry,
stretch.
well, you stood on the ladder as well.
Don't point it out. Anyhow, I am here. I got a few hours at the kill, and I came over to see it. I haven't had a koi day for a while because traveling and so, but you've got some fish from the south of Japan. You guys have been shopping there. Just tell everybody about what you have coming on.
So we've done a little bit different this year for some of our Tosai. Obviously we had today's release of 600, but we've been and purchased another 1200 from the south of Japan, which is, you know, we've always stocked fish from the south, but not really in this volume before. So we've gone very heavy on certain breeders like Ogata, Okawa, Matsue, for example. So a few of those we've got on in quarantine at the minute, which I'm sure Chip's going to show you some footage of, and we can talk you through them. These should all appear in what we're going to do is a Tosai event, probably the later end of April, once they're out of quarantine and we're happy with them. So we'll do a Tosai event whereby we'll set up some vats, some pop-up vats in the middle of the shop. We might break up varieties into a Kohaku, a Sanke, and then like a Showa vat, and then customers can come and just pick through them once they're first out of quarantine there. So it'll be a really exciting little event. We're going to do a few more bits and pieces. We obviously need to sit down and plan it properly, but yeah, as a sort of a heads up, there will be a nice big Tosai event at the end of April.
Nice. Well, I've seen them. I've had the privilege to walk out and have a look. We'll point the camera at a few. You've also got some stuff from Oishi. Yep. You've got some stuff from Odakan, his own breeding.
Odakan.
And
some Easter Showa that everyone likes. Yep.
And especially with the National Koi Show coming up, there's a lot of fish here that I see that are potentially good show for people to condition and get ready.
Yeah. There's some beautiful little examples around, definitely.
Yeah, and I think for the price point as well, there should be a good buy for people. So let's have a look at some of these. All right. Okay. Quarantine, so the water quality is not good. This is Quini Koy's own quarantine facility. And these are from Ogata, Okawa, and Ueno. Is that right? Did I get them right?
So we've got the majority in there, Asagi, Shiritsuri, some Yamabuki, Shisui as well. They're all from Ogata. Right. They're handpicked by the agent there. We have some really exciting little bits from Ueno, Showa, and some Tanto Showa from him as well. And there's two rather large Okawa.
Yes.
It is size Karashi as well, yeah.
These are some really nice mango style. How many you got in there? Two?
Yeah, two Karashi guys, two large this size. Yeah.
So when they're out of quarantine, you first come, first serve.
I'll individually photograph them, but I need to make sure they go through quarantine first. Yeah. There's around about 4 weeks left on them, which is why some of the Shiritsu look a bit stressed. Obviously a stressy variety anyway, but they're only their second week into quarantine, so they've just had their Alcorex treatment last week, which is why there's a tinge of green to the water. But when we do a big shipment, we've got 4 ponds in at one go, for example. We like to keep them all in sequence, so with Alcorex all 4 at the same time. And then this week they're due a fluke treatment, their first fluke treatment. We do 2 fluke treatments a week apart, just to make sure if any eggs were present, and once they hatch, obviously they will be knocked out as well.
So. And you do double heat ramp as well.
So they will have their heat ramps after the fluke treatments, just just to be sure that obviously all the fluke treatment's gone through.
Yeah.
Any parasites that were previously on them are now gone, and then obviously anything that will show itself is going to show itself during the heat lamp, so it's good to do it last.
Sure, sure. Well, there's some nice, I've been to Quino Coy farm, I've been to Okawa, I've drove by Ogata, I didn't stop. Well, it wasn't on my, yeah, it was my dealer there, Mike. He didn't stop. Was taking me. Mike's name.
Probably too much to look at.
Yeah, and we had an appointment at Ueno. So, so I've been to the Ueno and Okawa, and these people will not be disappointed, especially if you're looking for a mango, one of these big Nisai mango. There's only two, so you'll have to hurry your way down to Quini Coy. So we're going to look over here. There's some fish also from Matsue.
Matsue, this one.
And these are gorgeous. I mean, I was looking at these while you went back there.
Yeah.
And there's some really nice mixture of Kohaku and Sanke.
Yeah, we're really pleased. We weren't expecting to have any Ginrin Sanke in there, but there was a few Ginrin thrown in as well. There's 450 in here, so it's a little bit heavy, but they are much smaller toes, much more budget friendly, but there's some beautiful little pips in there. Certainly the patterns coming out of Matsui for his Kohaku are superb, right? So.
Well, Taka-san, I've been there. I've got a couple of fish at his facility, Azukari, one of which went to the All Japan Koi Show this year.
Nice.
And it took a third. It's a Kohaku that took a third. So you know that's a hard thing to do.
Hard, yeah, definitely.
But these are really good, and you know, if people are looking for like Matsue to grow on themselves or come and pick a fish to maybe have a shot at putting in a koi show whenever. There's some really nice patterns in here, Bobby and Sumi.
They're very lively.
Yeah, and they're in good nick, I must say. Don't ignore the water because they're in quarantine, but as you can see, they're super hungry. So food is not a problem for them. It's always a fun bit about Tosai. They love food, don't they?
It's like what's in the water bubble. There's all the excitement in there. And they're still only been a week during quarantine as well, so it's easy to digest and break down. And hopefully not produce too much ammonia as a result. A 4-tier shower and all these to make sure just biologically they look after well.
They look really nice in good condition as well. Are they Ogata?
These are Ogata and a little bit in there from Okawa. So
from Okawa,
you've got some smaller Ogata, which are the Hiat series. There's some Showa in there from him as well. And then there's some smaller Ginrin series from Okawa.
But the Yatsuris are Okawa?
Yes, they are. Yeah, that was a box of 100. Oishi in there. And who else have we got in from line? Beppu, that's it.
Okay.
There's 70 fish from Beppu in there, so some really pretty little Sankes.
Ginrin Sanke things and...
It's a variety that's really
So
nice to do.
are you guys at the National this year?
We are indeed, yeah, as ever, so we'll have the same size stand as last year, nice 12-metre stand, and we'll be there with at least 3 vats of fish.
Oh,
so,
nice.
the stuff here that you see today is unlikely to be in that because we're going to do that Tosai event. But then there's at least, what are we, 2.5, 2? Yeah, at least 2 months to go before the National, so obviously got time to bring stuff in, quarantine it, and then the first release can be at the National, so it's a really nice thing to do.
looking at a Tamaura Kohaku. That is now Nisai, right, Adam?
It is, yeah. So these two fish we're about to show you were both purchased last summer and left as Azakari.
Oh, Azakari, okay. Oh, lovely. Wow.
So yeah, I think we bought them around about 35 cm Tosai.
What size is it now? It looks quite big.
Certificate says 56.
Looks a tad bigger than that.
Yeah, that was just before it was shipped. So
Yeah, it might be a couple cm bigger. Is it sexed already?
Yes, both female.
Female, yes.
Yeah.
Lovely. Wow.
Really nice and vibrant. It's very hard to get a nice clean head on a Kohaku.
Well,
so.
that's it. To have one with a white head is what you look for.
Yeah. Quite tricky with these, especially when they're just finishing the quarantine now. So this pond's just coming out of quarantine in the last sort of week or so of observations with them and scrapes. So you may find that once it's introduced into a bigger pond and it's settled in, you may find the luster come back in the shimoji.
Yeah. Well, you can see
could still call it that.
You can see the luster on the head and what they call the terry on it as well. Looks very good. Yeah. But it just needs feeding up. It's a fish coming out of QT. But especially if you're looking for a Kohaku to get big, I mean that has the frame. It has a frame. It has a nice tight belly line on there.
It doesn't rugby ball like a classic Kohaku is likely to.
Tamaura has lots of really nice Kohaku. When I was at the farm in November, I saw quite a few, and I think also we saw some came out the mud pond challenge as well. One that came out particularly nice. So just zoom in on that head for people to have a good look.
The only other rival for Kohaku I've seen is nice stuff coming from Omasako down the south.
Yeah.
And up in the north, obviously Marasai has some lovely Kohaku.
Yeah. So this is a Tomozawa Sanke, Adam. We've got the certificate for it. This was also Azakari, right?
It was, yes. The pair were Azakari together. Again, bought around the sort of 37 cm mark, I believe, as Tosai, and left for one season. Quite late on in the season, actually. I think we didn't end up buying these until June time.
Right.
So very late in terms of Tosai buying season, but we saw the potential in it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did because...
He said it came in with a little bit of a head collar issue.
Yeah. It was something that we spotted when it was harvested.
Right.
So obviously when we purchased it as Tosai, it wasn't ever obvious.
Right. No.
But since obviously it was harvested from the mud pond and shipped over here, obviously there is this little mark here, so it is.
Has it looked better since you've seen it? When it came out, do you remember?
Yeah, it's less obvious in terms of indentation, but sadly I'm seeing a little bit below it that looks a little bit weak. But again, like you stated before, it could be the covers, the lack of sunlight.
Lack of sunlight, yeah.
You know, it has been at 24 degrees in quarantine for several weeks now, so that obviously won't help with the covers on.
But in my experience, not always, but the way to help it is colour food and put it in a pond where the sunlight does get to it.
Yeah, most definitely.
And because it's their head, it tends to come back more so than the...
Yeah, so it'd be the right time of year to get some colour food in before any sort of growing season started. So,
but
really nice pattern.
If you look at the rest of the fish, there's nothing to complain about, really.
No, the proportions are nice as well. It's got a really nice frame on which to get some good growth at the back of it. I mean, these haven't been fed much in quarantine at all, so once someone does chuck some food at it.
So this will be on their website?
It will be once, in the next sort of week to 2 weeks. Once I've just finished the last of the observations from quarantine.
Yeah.
And they will go on the website individually.
Right, so tell us what you got there.
So we've got the one fish I've currently got in Japan actually is an Azakari. Seeing as we were looking at the Azakari results from, from Odakan by obviously Tamaura as the breeder. This is a fish that I purchased in the autumn harvest that no one's actually seen before. Only the staff here have seen it. So it's from Yamamatsu, so a real artist when it comes to Sanke, in my opinion, and a beautiful looking fish. Now, what really struck me was its size, to be honest, 61 centimetre at Nisai when I purchased it. So he wanted to keep it there as a kari to see what it could do himself. He didn't want it to ship at all. In fact, it took me taking him out for dinner to convince him to sell it to me in the first place.
Oh, he didn't want to sell it. All right, okay.
He was not. He said a price, and then you could see the regret on his face. Is actually, it probably is worth more than that. But took him out for dinner, and that sweetened it a little bit. And obviously left it with him because he wanted to see how it did.
Okay. So would it
really
be
excited to see that?
Would it be for sale?
It will be once it's harvested.
Once it's harvested.
In the autumn again. So it'd be interesting to see that. You know, obviously I'm not expecting ridiculous numbers for Sandside, but at 61 cm with a good frame on it. Obviously it's a very long fish, but it had all the right proportions in the shoulder.
Female and everything.
Female, this side, and it'd be really interesting to see how the sumi develops on that one, because it was considerably darker than some of his other examples. Some of his spawnings he breeds a Kurashigoi with a Kohaku. It's quite an unusual looking outcome, but actually they start life quite pale yellow, a real key to them, and then they develop the nice deep dark Kohaku colours, but they have the Kurashigoi frame. So these are in the same pond as those, and it's just a comparison between a nice big bodied Kohaku compared to this beautiful deep dark Sanke. It's really nice. So I'm really excited for that one on a personal level, because I bought it more with my heart rather than any sensible brain. It was just a case of,
well, it'll be interesting to see it. So when are you hoping? Will it be end of the year?
It will be sadly, I've got to see, wait in anticipation to see the results from the agent, unless I get out there first and the harvest at the same time. We were really, really lucky to do a harvest with him, actually. Some of his big showstoppers that actually only his family really get to see. So his old man was there as well. And it was just myself, the agent, and his family, which was really, really nice. So after going for dinner with him and obviously spending quite a considerable amount of time at his facility, I've really got to know him very well. So
nice.
It's very
so
good.
You've got a few of his examples in your bowl. These are Nisai as well?
These are Nisai.
Not quite as big as that one as a cow.
No, this is a result of a pond that I purchased when I was out there. I bought the whole pond because I think he's a real artist, to be honest. And I think that some of his Sanke really stand out. So what we have here actually is one of his male examples and one of his female examples. So sadly there's a bit of cart box thrown up on the male, but this sort of the pattern, the way that his sumi comes out and tightens is really interesting to watch. And he was explaining to me the process of it, so it was really good to hear firsthand.
Once you warm up, cart box should disappear.
Yeah, and you've got incredible, almost Matsunovsky skin to the female. The depth of the belly on her is exceptional. Really nice clear pigment lines in there for obviously some good growth. So
it's not a breed I've been to. I've not been to the north of Japan, so
it's very picturesque. Right on top of the mountain, it overlooks the valley.
Right, okay.
But it's a lovely little facility. It's very well kept, but very wooden and old-fashioned.
Right, okay.
Beautiful place. Actually, the first breed I ever stepped into.
Really?
So you always have that sort of connection initially, even just with stepping straight to the door. So from there, we've really had a good relationship with him.
Nice. Well, the sumi on the male looks superb.
Yeah,
especially against the white ground, you can see it there.
Yeah, the belly pattern's unusual, it's quirky, but we've seen so many unusual things from him. Just complete opposite to the norm. Yeah, she's beautiful. It'll be really interesting to see how the sumi comes up and over and thickens up at the tail end.
Yeah.
But no, she's one to watch.
Yeah, well thank you for showing us this.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for coming. Yeah, no one's ever seen it here.
Yeah, so
nice little exclusive, but I won't be putting her on the website until she has been harvested for obvious reasons. I don't want to sell it beforehand and potentially disappoint someone. That's the tricky thing with Asakari is it's a gamble for us and obviously a gamble for the customer, and if they're not happy with the end result, I won't be happy either. So I'd rather wait to see what it does and then put it on the website after. Beautiful fish, we're really excited for that one.
But there's a Marudo Sanke, Kanto Sanke, that caught my eye that we'll put in, and a few others from this pond.
That's it.
So we'll have a
harvest.
Yeah, we'll have a look at a few more fish from here. Are they both Marudo?
Let me check.
Yeah, that's Marudo, right? The female is Marudo.
Definitely is, yeah.
And the male, we'll have a look. But the reason why I asked Adam to bowl this one is someone was asking me, maybe people could mention it in the comments if they want in the section. If that bit of sumi on the nose, would it be considered a fault or demerit or an issue with judging? I personally don't think it should. Doesn't mean it isn't or is, but I think overall the fish is very good. So it is a Tancho Sanke. Some people might say it's Showa, but it's not Showa, it's Sanke in that way.
Both Marudo, just check.
Oh, they're both Marudo.
Yeah, just to check,
Male
because they're so
and female.
polar
Yeah.
opposite to one
Yeah.
another.
But this is the one that I really liked. And to me, the little bit of sumi on the Tancho spot and the nose doesn't bother me in the slightest. I know from a show and technical point you probably don't want it, but what sort of price are you talking about? Do you know?
No, 95 I think.
Yeah, so about $1,000 roughly. Yeah, so you know, you're not talking about a whole big set of money for it. But the sumi quality is good. Skin is really good. Good terry on it. Body line is tight on this one.
The Tancho spot on it is
Yeah, yeah.
pretty good.
And I've seen fish in Japan similar that still went to the show and took awards. So in Japan they don't have an issue. It might be whether they do here in the UK, I'm not sure. But this is lovely. I would say it's really good value for $1,000, especially female Marudo.
Yeah, from our autumn harvest, their farm is ginormous.
Yeah.
They had some
Well,
exceptional Sansai ones. I have to save it a little bit out of my budget because they were incredible.
They used to be known back in the day for their chagoi.
Yes.
And people didn't know they do a really good line of gosanki.
Yes,
You
they
know,
do.
because the UK people used to only bring in chags from them back in the day.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, times have changed and people bring in more different varieties.
We've got a couple of their chags in the main pond.
Right.
Some big girls.
But this is lovely. That's kind of like my pick of what we've seen so far, especially for the money.
Yes.
You know, and I would be tempted to put it in the show and let the judges decide
Yeah.
what they're going to do with it.
It's very well balanced. isn't it?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I think this has lost its potency.
Yeah, so we've just pulled out a few examples from this. Are these mainly Odakan, you said?
They're all Odakan.
All
yeah.
Odakan.
So they're his own spawnings.
Oh, his own breeding.
Yes, they're not bought in from anywhere. He's spawned these ones.
Yeah. And there's some pieces in here you pulled out. And these would be, I guess you're not going to photograph these, are you? Or are you going to?
No.
Because they're too small to go through every single one. But
Once they're fully out of quarantine in the next sort of 2 weeks, week or
Yeah.
two, they'll just go into a big mix in the shop and people can pick through
pick
them.
through them, yeah.
But
But
these are the standout by far.
Yeah, these are the ones that we both kind of like. I mean, there's a little goshki you like here.
Can we get a pan net? That would help.
Yeah,
Quite like them.
Adam's gonna go get a pan net. But there's a few here that Adam pulled out that he liked. There's a couple I like. I mean, bear in mind these are just small fish and development is the key, whether the whole. But a lot of these are nice things just to have fun with. They're probably about 10 centimeters size. 8, 10, 12, so they're not huge fish. But as you can see, some really nice example. I'll let Adam pick out the ones he likes. That's quite nice. Skin quality. The mouth is quite big on that as well. Yeah, that mouth on that Kohaku's head. This one here, it looks almost Deutsch. How clean it is and the skin quality on it. But that's just like a typical example of some of the fish that's in the batch. And this is from Odakan's own spawning.
Yeah, very pretty. I think the one that stands out for me, if I had a pond at home,
Yeah.
the floating Benny on this the right hand side, left hand side as you look at it. It was magnificent because it actually shipped in the bag the same as this. It was this dark. It was the only one out of the batch that really shone.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Pattern's obviously going to divide opinions because there's not a lot of it from rear flank down, but I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Pretty little thing. I love the little Ginrin Goshki, little Ginrin Tancho. It's
Yeah,
quite,
there's a couple of little tanches in there. I wasn't expecting quite so many goshki, but
yeah.
I'm actually really pleased that it was quite goshki heavy because otherwise we'd be inundated with gosanki.
Now, speaking of Goshki, there's one here, which you just put in there,
With a bit of coochie.
that at first most people would think it's a Kohaku, but actually it's a Goshki.
It's turning.
And it's turning, and I would put that as my. It's a gamble koi. It either turn really good or it will turn good, but I think it's very interesting. It has a different body to the rest of them, and the potential is there. So
Yeah, it's very clean.
yeah, very clean. And this little Quino Sanke as well is really standout kind of fish.
Yeah, it's always, there's going to be a lot of sumi at the back, so it'll be really interesting to see as it bodies up.
Yeah,
just how that displaces on top.
yeah. But
nice
you know, a
little
lot
mix
of these are. It's not just about big expensive fish. I mean, the fishes we showed earlier, the kajaku and the sanke, they're bigger, they're more money, all that sort of thing. But it doesn't mean that you can't equally have fun with something like this.
No, absolutely.
Come and grab a coffee and have a look in the shop, in the pond, whichever one it is, and whatever you like. Obviously, you could look at this video and then come and try to hunt them down.
That's it.
Unless somebody's going to screenshot and say, Adam, get me this one.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult to pull them out. But, you know, these are kind of just some examples of what they have here at Quini Coy that's coming out. And we have a couple hours to just have a quick look.
Yeah,
we could do so as well.
We've got a lot coming from the south to come out of quarantine, but this is our sort of last batch of the northern fish.
Right. So, as you're saying that, you've got some more stock coming in a couple of weeks?
Yes, we're going to have a handful of some really nice selected Nisai and a couple of Sansai from Tamaura Koi Farm down in the south. Yeah. So there's going to be some really lovely pieces. We hope to get them out and ready for the National Koi Show. So something to put in a vat and just for people to ogle at, and obviously there will be priced up as well if someone likes what they see. Yeah. But there's some really nice selections in there. Okay. That's really excited for really, because we've got a lot of Tosai currently. Yeah. And people keep asking me when's the next shipment of big stuff, but the reality of it is, space-wise, logistically it's quite challenging to bring big fish in this time of year when you are bringing in thousands of Tosai.
And it is Tosai season in Japan anyway.
It is, yeah. So you're going to see a lot more of this. Yeah. But we've managed to select some really nice examples from Tamaura. So we bring them in for the Koi Show alongside some sort of jumbo Tosai that we're obviously going to be picking as well to bring up for that.
I would be over, it only takes me a few minutes to get here. I'll be over once they're settled and they're happy, and we can have a sneak peek ready in time for the Koi Show so people can come see you. And
we're not shy, we'll show you what we've got.
Yeah. But these are nice bowl of fish to show you an example of what Adam has. That's coming out soon, and these are not going to be super expensive, but a lot of fun, and you could just see how they stand out. Hopefully the camera picks them out, but you could just see the quality of these little Odakan fish. Value for money fish. Alright, well, good morning, Adam.
I haven't done this in so long.